Good evening, everybody. It's Cutler here on the Let's Talk to Cutler program, the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast. It's Tuesday. It is December the 29th. You all, 3 days will be in a new year. God willing, we will see a new year in about 3 days. And I'm certainly looking forward to it. In fact, I'm looking forward to tomorrow, and then the next tomorrow, and then the next tomorrow. But again, I am here every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 o'clock. It's me, Cutler, on the Let's Talk to Cutler program. I'm only with you for 1800 seconds, so you know it is my goal to make sure that every minute is meaningful, every moment it means something, and every second is significant. So I want to make sure that I spend my time wisely with you. I'm thankful for whatever space you've allowed me to share with you, whether it's your living room, your dining room, your kitchen, your front porch, your back porch, your living room, your bedroom. It doesn't matter. Whatever space it is that you've allowed me to share, I am extremely thankful. And we've been doing this for several months now. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we're here at 8 o'clock. Do me a favor, as you're coming on into the chat, why don't you go ahead and click on the thumbs up? It lets me know that you like the conversation. It says to YouTube that you like the conversation as well. And while you like the conversation, it also encourages me. It lets me know that at least I'm saying something that means something to somebody. But again, I'm so thankful. If this is your first time, why don't you also make sure that you click on the subscribe button and then click on that bell so that you can get notifications to let you know whenever I'm on, whenever I'm live, whenever I've uploaded new content. And so I see that some of you are joining, but I'm waiting so I can make sure that I go ahead and shout out the LTTC VIPs for the evening. I'll just shout out the LTTC VIPs. Again, make sure you can do a thumbs up on the conversation. You all, I'm hoping that you had a fantastic Christmas, a great holiday. And of course, this is the holiday season. We're in the middle of uh, between Christmas and New Year. Of course, we just came off with the Thanksgiving. So this is truly the holiday season. I'm hoping that each of you in your own respective homes and your respective manners had a fantastic holiday season and that you're having a great holiday season. Had a good Christmas. All right. You know how we do this every Tuesday. I'll read the quotes from Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Then on Thursday, I'll read the quotes from Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. All of the quotes are taken from my seventh book, Billboards to Better, 366 daily sources of motivation and inspiration along the highway of life. You all, we've been doing this thing together. And I want to thank you for allowing me to do it together with you. By the way, if you don't have this book, my latest book, go on over to Amazon.com, pick it up, or you can go to my website, www.gbcutler.com, and get the book as well. Now, you don't have to have the book to participate in the conversation, but it certainly helps. And I'm telling you, I would make sure that I think I'm just going to put up a commercial something for this book. I wouldn't let the year start without making sure that I had this book. Even if I didn't write it, I would make sure the year didn't start without me having it. All right, you all, I want to go ahead and get started again so I can make all our minutes meaningful. All right, and our second significant. So we're going to read beginning with our quote for December 27th. We're going to read the quote for December 27th, 28th, and 29th. I'm a little excited about these, as I have been with all of them, as you can tell. And again, in just a moment, I'll shout out our VIPs for the evening. But December 27th, the quote says, if you are not practicing self improvement, you're practicing suicide. Yikes. If you're not practicing self improvement, you're practicing suicide. And I'm going to give you the backstory to why I wrote that in my thinking when I wrote that, you all. This is what we've been talking about every Tuesday and every Thursday. Every time we meet together in this space, this is what we've been talking about. We've been talking about not getting stagnant, not getting stale, not becoming complacent, but we've been talking about not getting stuck, all of those things, but we've been talking about not going backwards, but we've been talking about moving forward, forging ahead, seeing what's new, seeing what's different. And the focus has not been so much on people as it has been on ourselves. The focus hasn't been on anybody else, but it's been on ourselves. We have been doing this introspective conversation and sharing time and space. And we've been looking at how we can get rid of how we can get rid of some of the things that have been weighing us down, how we can cast off some of the old ways, how we can build peaceful habitations, how we can nurture healthy relationships, how we can set goals, and how we can pursue dreams. That's what we've been talking about every Tuesday and Thursday when we leave this space. And when it comes to self improvement, you all, I really strongly believe in self-improvement. Again, because if you're not practicing self-improvement, then I really think that you're practicing suicide. And self-improvement, you all get this. Self-improvement is not one of those one and done kind of things. You don't learn everything that you need to know and then stop learning. But life itself is a learning institution. And each day, each week, each month, each year, you all, each of those times presents different classrooms. We go in and out of the classrooms, different classrooms every day, every week, every month, every year. And it is my desire to make sure that I learn the lessons. I'm telling you all this. I've never failed a course when I was going through school. In any of my educational pursuits, my academic pursuits, I never failed a course. Never did. And because I never failed a course, it's strange to me that in real life, there are some lessons that I had to repeat. There are some things that there's some exams that I had to take over again. So I can't say that my educational career looked like life because they just didn't. If the truth be told, in life, I didn't always get it right the first time, sometimes not the second, third, fourth, or even fifth time. So there were some lessons that I saw again, some classrooms I had to walk in again. But because God has been merciful and He's been exceptionally kind, I've gotten a chance to take the exam again. And what I've discovered is that life does me just like I used to do some of my students. This is an inside secret. I'm going to tell you all this. There were times when I would repeat questions from a previous exam and put it on my most recent exam because I wanted to make sure that my students understood certain concepts. I wanted to make sure that they understood certain ideas. I wanted to make sure that they mastered certain things. It's like that a lot in life, you all. It really is. We have multiple opportunities to master these concepts. And every now and then, just when we think we've gotten it right, guess what? It's time to take a refresher course. It's time to take one of those continuing education courses to make sure that we're sharp and that we understand what to do in life. But those, those are just the dynamics of life. It's a true statement. I'm telling you, it is a true statement, you all. We live and we learn. And my 90 something year old grandmother would often say this: we are never too old to learn. And that has been a part of my mantra. Every day of my life, that is a part of my mantra. I like learning new things. I really do. I like expanding my knowledge base. I like stretching my capacity to grasp new ideas and new concepts. And I don't, I'm not one of those people who will ascribe to this notion that ignorance is bliss. There, there, there is nothing happy or content about being in a space of ignorance. Not at all. So I am very thankful for this opportunity to share. I'm thankful for this opportunity for us to challenge each other. I really am. I'm thankful for the opportunity for us to be responsible for and accountable to each other. Because guess what, you all? Each Tuesday and Thursday, when we share this space, when we go back and we look at this program, we are getting better. We're learning. We're doing self-improvement and we're doing it together, you all. I'm thankful and I never think that we run out of the capacity to learn or to remember. I was just having a conversation this past weekend with my mother, and I found it amazing that for as many of us who will say that I just can't remember, I don't have the capacity to learn anything else, think about all the songs that you remember from your childhood. You remember that stuff. You've been able to retain that kind of knowledge from your childhood. And so, one of the things that I do, I challenge myself every day. I've learned to challenge. I challenge my character. I challenge my integrity. I challenge myself every morning when I get up. I issue myself a new challenge because I want to strengthen my integrity. I want to improve my character. I want to fortify my future. Those are my daily challenges every single day. I challenge myself to maintain good physical and emotional and spiritual well being. I really do. Every day for me comes with a challenge. No day is going to bypass me. without me seeing an opportunity for self-improvement. And so I challenge myself every day so that I can be better tomorrow. Every today that I face, I challenge myself so that tomorrow I can do better. Because what I know about better is this: better never comes without a challenge. Better never comes without a challenge. And as I consider the time that we spend every Tuesday and Thursday, the time that we have spent during this pandemic, we've been through a lot of challenges. And it is my hope's desire, and it is just the anchor of my faith that says to me, with the challenge that we have endured, the challenge that we have come through, better has got to be on the way. And I often say this: you become better just as soon as you want to become better. All right, we got 1,800 seconds here together. So what I want to do is go ahead and shout out LTTC VIPs for this evening. They are Annie Cutler, Cornelia Smith, and Patricia Davis. Thank you all so much for joining. Of course, I want to say a special good evening to Yvonne, Nisi, SJ, and Sloan as well. And I want to go on now to our December the 26th. I got to go to December the 26th. Did I say 26? You all, I'm at the 28th. I'm at the 28th. We're reading 27, 28, and 29. The quote for December 28th says this: God's way of getting out of it is better than our way of staying in it. God's way of getting us out of it is better than our way of staying in it. It really, really is. Um, I'm going to go back and read something for the 27th because I want to make sure that we get this. Learning should not just be a portion of your life, and it's in the anecdotal notes in the book. Learning should not just be a portion of your life, but it should be a practice of your life. You all make it a practice to learn. Don't just let it be a part of something that you do and you stop learning, but it should be a practice of your life. Always strive to improve and sharpen yourself by learning something. Why? Because a sharp axe would chop more trees. Always, I and I know this is true for you. I know it's true for all of us who are here this evening. I want to be as sharp as I can. I want to be as good as I can. I want to be the best me that I possibly can. So that is why I ascribe to learning and self improvement every single day. All right, I want to go into December the 28th. God's way of getting us out of it is better than our way of staying in it. He's trying to get us out of it, and we're trying to stay in it. Have you ever gone to a salon or a barber shop and the stylist, and you show the stylist or you show the barber a picture of what you want it to look like? I know I have, and I've seen these pictures. Excuse me. I've seen these pictures in barbershops, and in the barbershop, you have all of these looks, and you can select one. And I've seen ladies go into the salon and they show the stylist the picture and say, "This is what I want to look like. This is what I want my hair to look like." Has that ever happened to anybody else other than me? But you all, what happens then is that at the end of the process, you look nothing like the picture that you pointed out. You look nothing like the picture that you took with you. Has that ever happened to anybody? You all, that is because, that is because in a lot of instances, the stylist or the barber had a much better concept of what they were working with than we do. Now that's strange because it is the same way, it's similar when we consider God, the creator of the universe. You all, we will sometimes put limitations and restrictions on ourselves. We'll paint a glass ceiling. We will do all of that. We will see ourselves stuck in a box, in a career, in a relationship, and we forget, we don't even really know the us that we are truly working with. Sometimes your hair comes out different because the stylist or the barber knows better what they're working with than you do. And it is like that in life sometimes. We get stuck in a box, we get stuck in careers, we get stuck in relationships. Why? Because we don't realize the full capacity of what we're working with. And we become content to stay there. Whether it's because of disgust, despondency, depression, we sometimes find ourselves staying simply because we don't see another way. But another way is coming, you all. Another way is coming. How many of us have ever made plans for the evening or the weekend? This is another hypothetical. Have you ever made plans for the evening or you made plans for the weekend and your only plans included staying home, sleeping, getting caught up on rest, lying on the sofa as like a couch potato with the remote control in your hand? Those were your plans. But suddenly you got an email or a call or a text or a visit from someone who stopped by and they persuaded you to change your plan. And you realized that you were so thankful because you had a fantastic time and you were more thankful for the plans that they had concerning you than the plans that you had concerning yourself. I'm going somewhere with this. I believe in planning. I really do. I believe in setting goals. I believe in having a framework for what each day should look like. But I also believe, you all, that there is a planner. There's a planner whose plans will supersede mine at any given moment, any given day, any given time. So I challenge us, I challenge all of us as we go out of this year and we get ready to go into a new year, prepare to come into the new year, prepare to go into the new year. But I challenge us all, don't get stuck, don't get stagnant, don't get stale about what 2020 looked like or what the past has looked like. I'm telling you all, be open to new, be open to creative, be open to innovative, be open to different and dynamic. Many of us are creatures of habit. I know I really used to be a really bad creature of habit. We we're creatures of habit, you all. But guess what? Guess what? This year right here, if this year didn't show us anything else, it showed us how to be adaptable. It showed us how to be flexible. It showed us how to be pliable. It taught us how to adjust and readjust. It taught us how to arrange and rearrange. And then it taught us how to rethink and reimagine and refocus. This year right here taught us how to do all of those things. So some of us, you all, had no idea how we would make it through this pandemic, but we made it. Some of us had no idea how we would endure, but we've endured it. Some of us had no idea how we would survive, but we have survived it. We've done it, you all. We have done it. We're here 3 days before a new year. We've done it. Some of us have discovered new strengths and new talents and new gifts and new skills and new energy and new vitality. And I'm talking to you. We've discovered all of this newness within us that we were new enough to adapt and to flex and to be pliable. We have discovered something new inside of us. So before we get stuck in what we know, I want us to never forget the newness that we have discovered. Don't get stuck as you get ready to go into the new year. Don't get stuck because this year has been an exception to every rule. This year has made us tap into our resources, our internal wherewithal, and to pull out new concepts and new things, new discoveries, new dynamics, and all of that stuff. So let's not get stuck, you all. Let's not get stuck. Because here is something else that I want to share. Here's something else that I know. There's a lot of stuff out there that we don't know. In fact, one of my friends used to put it this way: there's enough out there that we don't know to start a whole new world. There's enough out we don't know to start a whole new world. But we will never see it if we get stuck. We will never know it if we get stuck. We will never experience it if we get stuck here. So as we're getting ready for the newness of what this year, the next year is going to offer, I don't know what it's going to offer, but I do know this: God's way of getting us out of it is better than our way of staying in it. Let's not resolve to stay in anything. How many of you have discovered new gifts, new talents, new ideas, new acquaintances, new ways of communicating, new platforms, new people? We've discovered all of this, you all. So 2020 wasn't all bad. 2020 presented so many challenges, you all, but it wasn't all bad. It wasn't all bad in that it showed us our this new intestinal fortitude. It showed us new strength. It wasn't all bad. Lots of bad things happened, but the year itself wasn't all bad. I hope I'm reminding somebody to look back and say it wasn't a completely washed out year. If for no other reason, we developed the strength to survive. That showed us something that we didn't have before. Learn to see the good in every moment. Learn to see the good in every moment. In every bad moment, I see strength. In every challenging moment, I've discovered hope. And in every dismal moment, there's always been a light that managed to shine. So then, let's not get stuck in anything. Let's face the next year. Let's face the next year with the same strength that we've developed in this year. I hope you all are enjoying this conversation. You all know it's based on conversations from this book. It's based on quotes from this book right here, Build Boys to Better. If you haven't done so, don't forget, do a thumbs up on this conversation. I'm going to go on to December 29th because how many seconds do I have with you all? 1800. All right, let's go on to our quote for December the 29th. The quote says, whenever God gives you somebody that becomes a priority in your life, make sure that God is the priority in their life. Whenever God gives you somebody that becomes a priority in your life, you make sure that God is a priority in that person's life. You just have to. How many of you make New Year's resolutions? My throat is very dry, y'all. Hang on. Excuse me. How many of you make New Year's resolutions? I'm just curious. If you make New Year's resolutions, just sort of drop it in the chat and say, I do, I do. All right. And you're not going to get lambasted for saying that you make New Year's resolutions. That's just not me. But I would tell you this, I don't make New Year's resolutions. I don't. I don't make New Year's resolutions because I set goals all throughout the year. And one of my goals that I've made for myself this year, I'm going to share this goal with you all, and I'm taking it into 2021. If the Lord should bless me to see 2021, I'm taking this goal with me right in 2021. Nothing wrong with making resolutions, not at all. I don't because I just tend to make goals all throughout the year. All right, so I want to share this with you all. One of my goals, again, one of my goals as it pertains to people in my life is this. I want to make sure and very sure that the people in my life, this is my goal. I want to make sure that the people who are in my life, that we share a similar value system. That is my goal. That has been my goal this year. No, I don't need an identical twin and I don't want a clone. But I want to make sure, that social equality is important to people in my life. You don't have to look like me. You don't have to be a clone of me, but there's some things I want to make sure that we share similar values. I want to make sure that we share a similar value system. So again, for me this year, this 2020, it was important to me that people in my space, in my intimate space, I wanted to make sure that they understood that social equity, social equality was important. I wanted to make sure that honesty and integrity were important. I wanted to make sure that personal growth and development and self-improvement were important. I just had to make sure that in this year right here, that the people who were close to me had a similar value system as I share. I didn't say their values had to be identical to mine. I said that their value system had to be similar to mine, because if it's not, that means we're unequally yoked. We really don't walk hand in hand. And I wanted to make sure that God is the priority and spiritual health and wellness are critical in their lives. If you're going to be close to me, that's one of the things that I look for. I'm looking for a similar value system. This year, I'm telling you all this because it presented so much newness, so many challenges, and so many different things. I did not want anything or anybody in my life that was going to contradict or conflict with things that I considered important. That's just me. That was my goal. I discovered, and that was a goal that I set early in the year when we found ourselves quarantined in full pandemic mode. I knew that the year was going to present challenges. I just didn't know how many were coming this way. I really, really didn't. So I made sure as a goal that I was not going to have anybody in my life who, I'm telling you, anybody who was going to conflict or contradict the things that I considered important. Just could not, no, you couldn't be in my intimate personal space, not at all, not at all. And notice you all, I did not say that I didn't want anybody in my life who challenged my values. I didn't say that I didn't want anybody who challenged. I said I didn't want anybody who would what? Contradict or pose a conflict to those things. Absolutely not. Because you see, I don't mind a challenge. I really don't. I don't mind you challenging my methods to achieve social equality. I really don't. But I have no desire for you to be in my personal space if you can't recognize that what we currently have is not social equality. Challenge me, but don't contradict or conflict with what I know to be a part of my value system. Absolutely not. I don't mind you challenging. I don't mind you challenging my methodology for acquiring racial harmony. You can challenge my methodology all day long, but you're not going to contradict the fact that we don't have racial harmony fully in this country. Not at all. Not at all. You see, you can challenge. I don't even mind you challenging me to become more wholesome or to become more righteous or to become more upstanding or to develop a better reputation. I don't mind you challenging any of that. But if you're not, you own 1800 seconds and I'm sharing from my heart and I'm sharing something that I'm taking with me in 2021. If you're not open to the possibility of God and spirituality moving up on your priority list, you make it extremely difficult for me to engage in a long-term discussion or dialogue with you. You make it difficult for me to pursue the possibility of being any more than a casual temporary acquaintance. You make it very difficult. I can't say that this works for everybody. I just can't say that it works for everybody. But one of the things that this past couple of years has taught me is that I don't need a clone and I don't need an identical twin, but neither do I need someone in my life whose values are the complete antithesis of mine. If your values are the complete opposite of mine, that is not somebody that I necessarily need in my space. Maybe you can handle that, you all, but I can't. And I choose not to because I want to remind us all of this. I want to remind us all of this. You get to screen and interview any person that you are going to allow to become a part of your life. It's your right, it's your authority. You get to screen and interview anybody that you are going to allow to become a part of your life. You don't have to feel like you're stuck with anybody. You don't have to feel like you're connected with with somebody just because they showed up. Absolutely not. And so what I'm going to do, I know I only have just about 60 seconds left out of this 1800. Didn't these 1800 seconds go by very quickly, you all? I'm going to give us all a freebie tonight. And this is one that you can take with you in the new year. Don't ever feel that you're stuck with people because as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to people, when their priorities change, so does their position in my life. That's how I'm operating going into out of 2020 to 2021. When your priorities, when your priorities change, so will your position in my life. And one of the optional positions that I'm keeping my finger on the pulse of is eject. Because you all know what I say. We're going into a new year, and somebody's brick may not fit the foundation of the house that you're trying to build. You're not stuck with anybody. You're absolutely not stuck. So I want to thank you for sharing this space with me these past 1800 seconds. It's been my pleasure. This is Cut on the Let's Talk to Cutler platform. I want to thank you. I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday. Whatever space you allow me to share, I'm thankful to share this space. I just want to remind us, whenever God gives you somebody that becomes a priority, make sure that that's somebody, make sure that God becomes a priority in that somebody's life. And you don't ever have to feel like you're stuck in anything because God's way of getting you out of it is better than your way of staying in it. And then again, when it comes to self-improvement, again, here's what I want to remind us that if you're not practicing self-improvement, you're practicing suicide. Let learning not just become a portion of your life, but let learning become a practice of your life. All right. All right. I'm so thankful that you all have joined. I'm so thankful for those of you who are going to watch the replay and if you're going to view it later. Um, I want to close out by reading another poem that I wrote, uh, and I'm bidding all of us a happy New Year as well. I want to read this poem. It is in my third book. When I consider this year, what this year has looked like, and the possibility of what next year is going to look like, it makes us feel like what I call a transplanted tune, a transplanted like a note, a musical tune in who we once were. Transplanted tune, misplaced, unsettled, uprooted, and disturbed, snatched from the warmth, tossed into a frigid cool. But it's in my cool days, I shall not be moved days, that my sails are lowered and my anchor grips an intangible universe called stability. Dig me up and clip my roots, lay me in the sun, but don't expect me to wither from a growing grain to a dying ground. Force in my brown days, my nothing will get me down days, that my worst enemy becomes my best friend. Uncertain and insecure, unsure of where to roam, placed in a crowd like a fish tank, yet feeling all alone. But it's in my alone days, my I wish I were back home days, that I find the music in my heart to sing a new song in a strange land. And what a strange land 2020 has been, you all. But guess what? We've been managing to sing a new song in a strange land. And I don't have a promise for what 2021 is going to look like, but I'm holding on to a song. I got a few songs in reserve. I have my pencil and paper because I'm going to write new songs. If the land is strange, I'm just going to sing a new song. Thank you all for sharing this space. Let's do what we continue to do. Let's keep on building community, you all. Let's keep maintaining connectivity. Keep your heads up and keep your hopes up. We've been doing this for months now. So let's keep on staying safe and staying sane. I will be right back here, yes, Thursday on this platform in this space where we're going to keep trying to save somebody's life and make a difference in somebody's life. Thank you all for traveling down the highway of better, the highway of life, and we're reading these billboards to better you all. I will see you all Thursday, right here, 8 o'clock. Make sure that you listen. Y'all come here. Please make sure that you share, like, and subscribe. All right. I will see you all Thursday. Bye. Good night.